All right, so what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, man. It's your boy, and today we're going to take a look at how Satana performs as a leader and a support for your fire-based elemental characters, because in this seasonal uniform, they're giving her a 35% increase to elemental damage. And if you pick up her artifact like I did from the token event that's going on right now, you're going to get some additional. Let me just go ahead and show you. Where the heck is that thing? Actually, I think it's in my inventory. Let me just equip it to her right quick. You're gonna get some extra damage to boss types and some extra damage if you are using a universal character, which Ghost Rider is both of those things, right? So you can see right here, universal types, 16% extra attack and 6% extra damage to boss type. Obviously, this is only a 4-star, so when you get up to 6-star, you can get even more, but the chances of you getting a 6-star if you're not getting it from the bingo is slim to none. Very, very unlikely, but it can happen. The reason why I went out of my way to get this thing though is because I have the artifact for Robbie Reyes, and as you can see, it increases your fire damage based on your fire resistance. So you get 12% fire damage, and then it takes 26% of your fire resistance and then converts it into fire damage. And keep in mind that Robbie Reyes, as a part of his 4-star passive, gives you fire resistance and fire damage. So when you convert all of these things, you're looking at close to 120% fire damage. Like, it's really, really good. So I'm kind of curious how Satana shakes up this team. Will I get more value out of Satana as a leadership / support with her artifact and her uniform bonus for my Ghost Rider, or am I better off just using Ghost Rider as the lead and then just doubling down on the fact that since he has even more resistance in his leadership, I can get even more value out of Robbie Reyes? So that's what we're going to be testing today. Obviously, Ghost Panther can also give you fire damage, but I've done testing that shows me anyways that using Ghost Rider as leadership and then converting that resistance into more fire damage is better than using Ghost Panther's leadership. Now obviously, Ghost Panther's support does not apply to allies, which is stupid. I think they need to go back and rework this, because how are you going to give a support character an artifact that only affects themselves? Stupid, really stupid. Anyways, let's jump in and let's see how this goes. Also, I'm going to go ahead and put a CTP of Insight, a reforged one that gives you extra damage to boss type, this one right here, on Satana, just because I have one on Ghost Panther as well. So I want to make sure that things line up when I do take Ghost Panther off the team. How fast can Ghost Rider mow down Giant Boss Raid? Ooh, ooh. Okay, nice. So we one-shot the first phase. Beautiful. Let's go. Can we one-shot the second phase as well? Yes, we can. What I'm talking about. Now, since I have the immortality, I could technically just stand there, but it's all good. Okay, so it's gonna be less than a minute, 50 seconds. Next up, we got Satana's lead and Robbie out of the mix. And then after this, we're gonna put Robbie back in and Ghost Panther out. Okay, we still one shot. Okay. All right, that's good. That's what we want to see. Might have been like half a second, maybe a second faster. Okay, so it's safe to say we are doing way better without Robbie Reyes. Oh yeah, way better. We're probably gonna finish close to the same amount of time, but if you look at the runs side by side, you can see there's a big difference. Okay, next up, let's see how we do without Ghost Panther. Now, you would never be using Satana and not using her in the lead. So obviously, ooh, Okay, it was looking kind of like we would possibly not one-shot this phase. So it looks like Robbie Reyes is no longer needed for this Ghost Rider team, bro. Like, he is good. He's a good free-to-play option. But it looks like Satana replaces him, especially if you have the artifact. Part of me wishes I had tested without the artifact, but it is what it is. I could take it off, but I'm not going to. Okay, so based on my first run of testing here, it seems like if you have the uniform and the artifact for Satana, and you have them built the same, so Ghost Panther with a CTP of Insight, Reforge and all, they're about even, which is kind of crazy because Ghost Panther gives you quite a lot from his passive here. 50% fire damage and 45% extra damage to supervillains is quite a bit. If he had an artifact that applied his passive here to his fire allies, then that would definitely make him the superior. But as of right now, Satana is keeping up when it comes to giant boss raid, and Robbie is a little bit behind. However, you can get Ghost Panther for free from the mentioned missions, and you can buy Robbie Reyes' uniform because it's for crystals, not cash like this one. So I don't necessarily think you absolutely have to get Satana's uniform because of this, but it's definitely a noticeable difference. And as you clear harder and harder content in the future, then yeah, she's gonna definitely show that she is superior to Robbie. But I guess that should be the case considering you're spending money versus crystals. But let's jump into World Boss. I'm gonna try to find a stage where you can use primarily universal superheroes. All right, so unfortunately the highest stage I could find that you can use all three of these guys, including Satana, is 54 Ultron, universal superhero. So we're just gonna go with this. So we're doing impressive damage here. Definitely. And we're done. 26 seconds. That was really impressive. So we didn't have to deal with any cutscenes or anything, so that's going to be tough to beat. But let's see with Satana. I think the best way to gauge this is to look at how much damage we're doing per rotation. Let's go. So yeah, you can see with one rotation with Ghost Rider, with Satana and stuff, we're already down to 9 bars. Now he moved away, so that kind of sucks. But you can definitely see that we do significantly more damage. Even though the clear speed wasn't necessarily faster, that's part of the fact that he moved away. If you looked at the first rotation with Robbie Reyes on the team, and then looked at the first rotation here with Satana and Ghost Panther, you can see that there's definitely a clear winner. And last but not least, Satana and Robbie in place of Ghost Panther. Let's see how this goes. Okay, so not quite as much damage. And yeah, so here's the thing. We got our fastest time using Satana and Robbie Reyes, but I think that's just because of when the invincibility wore off. However, the gap between these three when it comes to a support for Ghost Rider is not that big from what I'm seeing right here. So you could skip over Satana. The reason I'm making this video is because there's only 2 days left for you to decide if you want to buy this uniform. Otherwise, it's gone until 2025. Keep that in mind. April of 2025 is the next time this is going on sale, unless they buff it and then extend the sale.